you got in the league and you went to the Dallas Mavericks, you didn't have well, your team didn't have a great year on the court. I think I was 20 and 62 or something like that. How do you stay focused on a season like that?
Like I'm the first person to really kind of
like staying in the gym and all that stuff, man. That's a tough task. I know you've been winning the whole time since, from high school to college. So you go to Dallas.
So I'm gonna keep it 100. It was real tough, considering that. So I get drafted. Jim Clemens is the head coach. Now Jim Clemens is from Columbus. It's also from Ohio, went to Ohio State, and he was one of the names I grew up hearing. Basketball around Ohio, and so first of all, I was honored to be drafted by him. Huge, respect, and so and it was also my connection to the Lakers. We'll get to that too. So. Considering he was Phil Jackson's right-hand guy. But so I get to Dallas, man, and it was a tough time just walking in because of the actual veterans there. Again, it's cutthroat. It ain't like it is now, buddy. Okay, come on, we getting drafted. I was replacing the guy who was really beloved there, Popeye Jones at the time. And so
I remember
they bringing in this young rookie. You remember Popeye? Yeah, the league loved him, just down-to-earth guy, good dude, hard worker, hard-nosed. And so, coming in, other guys, he had befriended the other guys. And so Cass already had their nose up in the air when I got drafted. Now, mind you, you got J. Kidd, you got Jim Jackson, Jamal Mashburn, the 3 J's. Should have been on paper a cold team, right?
Sounds like it.
But it was dysfunctional in the locker room. You had a lot of dysfunction in that locker room. And that the coach had to deal with, and he couldn't even, iron out. You had agents involved. You had a lot of politics involved. You had, cats not even talking in the locker room. And then you had this, the infamous story, Toni Braxton and all that.
Oh no! What about Toni Braxton, bro? I ain't hear this story.
So yeah, man. So I get there. So they was talking about it when I got. Let me run you through it real quick. So when I get drafted, right? They draft me and they sit me down. It's on video. They talk to me at the table, and then they bring Jim Clemens on video. So when they draft me, they go straight to Jim Clemens, and Jim Clemens is just now, mind you, they just bring him on as head coach, and then the first thing they ask him is, how's he going to deal with this situation that's going on in Dallas? And the situation was, just before I get there, supposedly Toni Braxton invited the team while they were on the road to the studio. Right? This is crazy. So somehow story comes up as Jim Jackson ended up dishing everybody and taking the limo or whatever, going to meet up with Toni at the studio on a solo.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. And shout out to, and so now J. Kidd, and them is hot. And so supposedly now J. Kidd and others is hot, about the situation. And this story blows up in Dallas. Like, this goes blowing up. This in the papers and everything. Toni Braxton got a new album coming out, so a lot of people thinking she's taking advantage of it, the situation and everything. And so now this has become big to where it destroys the chemistry in the locker room. This is before I get there. Yeah.
Is that the dysfunction you're talking about that was in the locker room?
Part of it.
Okay.
Yes, that was dysfunction. With nobody talking, you had Jim Jackson and J. Kidd butting heads. And so I get to Dallas. Jimmy picked me up from the airport. And I just asked him to go in. So what's going on, man? Tell me what's really going on. And he just told me straight up. He said, Samaki, I wasn't even with Toni. I didn't even go to the event. He said that the story was somehow made up. He don't understand how it got out that way.
That's crazy.
They did get invited, but he didn't go. He said he was with his agent. He went to dinner with us that night. But it came out that he thought that the agents was doing it. He said, I'll tell you this. He said, Samaki said in Dallas, he said, now J. Kidd is a bigger star nationally than I am. He just told me straight up. He said he's a bigger star. He said, but in Dallas, because of the work I do, Jimmy's the ultimate professional. Now look at him, he on TV now. So this is a
Yeah,
testament to what
yeah,
he told me, right?
right.
Dude
Hmm.
was putting in work behind the scenes, professional. He putting in work. You know, a lot of us go home after the game. He doing deals, he doing this, making connections. And so in Dallas, he was bigger, it seemed, because he was getting a lot of those little deals. You know, it's only so many little deals amongst us all as players. And so supposedly Jimmy is popular in Dallas, you know, in that regard. And so I guess the agents didn't like that. And that's where the beef. And Jimmy's like, yo, me and Jason was literally best friends, bro. He said, we were boys. And that situation destroyed us. I couldn't believe it. And
Wow.
so, yeah, so I'm walking into that,
So
the locker
I,
room
so
dysfunction. Go
nobody
ahead.
never had no conversation. Is that long ass season? That's I mean, 82 games. Nobody gonna sit this down and say, "Yo, what you think happened ain't happened."
Spam. That's what blew me.